The Secrets to Thriving After 80, a Psychologist's Guide to Vitality and Longevity. Greetings, everyone. I'm a seasoned psychologist with over 3 decades of experience working with individuals across all stages of life, particularly those in their golden years. Today, I'm excited to share with you a deep dive into the science and psychology of aging well, secrets that can transform how you or your loved ones live beyond 80. This isn't about quick fixes or fleeting trends, it's about practical, proven strategies rooted in decades of research and real-life success stories from my practice. Whether you're approaching this age yourself, caring for an aging parent, or simply curious about what makes some seniors thrive while others struggle, this guide is for you. In this comprehensive exploration, I'll unveil 5 science-backed secrets to help you or your loved ones stay vibrant well into your 90s and beyond. These aren't complex medical procedures or expensive gadgets, they're simple, actionable habits anyone can adopt today. I'll weave together cutting-edge studies from institutions like the Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and the National Institute on Aging with stories from my patients, seniors who've reclaimed their energy, independence, and joy. Along the way, I'll sprinkle in psychological insights to address the emotional barriers that often hold us back as we age. So, grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's embark on this journey to thriving after 80. Where are you joining me from today? I'd love to know. Drop your city in the comments below. Understanding and reversing muscle loss. The battle against sarcopenia. A deeper dive into strength and resilience. When Patricia, a 76-year-old grandmother from Denver, first sat across from me in my office, her eyes carried a quiet frustration. "I used to carry my grandkids up the stairs," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "Now, I can barely get out of my favorite rocking chair without a struggle." Her story is one I've heard countless times over my 30 years as a psychologist working with seniors. What Patricia was experiencing wasn't just normal aging, it was sarcopenia, the gradual erosion of muscle mass that affects nearly 50% of adults over 80. But here's the empowering truth I shared with her, and I'll share with you now. Sarcopenia isn't a life sentence. With the right knowledge and action, it's a challenge you can meet head-on. At any age. What is sarcopenia, really? Let's break it down simply. Imagine your muscles as a savings account you've been building your whole life, strong, reliable, ready to cash in when you need them. But after age 60, if you're not making regular deposits through diet and movement, that account starts to dwindle. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show we lose about 3% of our muscle mass each year starting in our 60s. A rate that accelerates to 5 to 8% per year after 70 if left unchecked. This isn't just about vanity or lifting weights, it's about the strength to climb stairs, the balance to avoid falls, and the energy to enjoy life. Sarcopenia doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It sneaks up quietly. You might notice it first when a bag of groceries feels heavier than it used to, or when standing up from a low chair requires a push from your hands, or worse, help from someone else. For Patricia, it was the rocking chair that became her wake-up call. "I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I couldn't do the little things," she confided. The National Institute on Aging warns that this muscle loss doesn't just affect your body, it impacts your immune system, your metabolism, and even your mental clarity. A 2021 study in the Journal of Frailty and Aging found that seniors with advanced sarcopenia are 50% more likely to experience cognitive decline, linking physical strength directly to brain health. Why does this happen? To understand sarcopenia, we need to peek under the hood of aging biology. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at repairing and rebuilding muscle tissue, a process called protein synthesis. Hormones like testosterone and growth hormone, which once fueled muscle growth, naturally decline. Add to that a common reduction in physical activity and a diet that might not prioritize protein, and you've got a perfect storm. But here's where psychology comes in. Many seniors don't act because they don't believe they can. This is what psychologists call learned helplessness, a concept pioneered by Martin Seligman. Patricia had fallen into this trap, assuming her weakness was permanent. My job was to show her it wasn't. The science of fighting back. The good news? Sarcopenia isn't invincible. Research from Johns Hopkins University, published in 2022, demonstrates that even seniors in their 90s can rebuild muscle with the right strategies. Take William, an 84-year-old retired carpenter I worked with last year. After a sarcopenia diagnosis, he felt defeated until we crafted a plan. He started with sit to stands from his chair during TV commercials, essentially standing up and sitting down repeatedly, using his body weight as resistance. While his morning coffee brewed, he'd do wall push-ups against the kitchen counter. I thought it'd be too late for me, he told me 3 months later, his grin wide, but I can carry my toolbox again without huffing and puffing. What William tapped into is a two-pronged approach backed by decades of science, protein and resistance. Let's start with protein. The Mayo Clinic recommends 25 to 30 grams per meal, about a palm-sized portion of chicken, fish, or lentils, to fuel muscle repair. But timing matters. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who spread protein evenly across breakfast, lunch, and dinner retain 20% more muscle mass than those who load it all at night. Martha, 79, keeps it practical. I've got Greek yogurt in the fridge and hard-boiled eggs in a bowl. She says, it's not fancy, but I feel the difference. Resistance is the other half of the equation. You don't need a gym membership or dumbbells, your own body is enough. A 2019 study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine showed that simple moves like squats, wall push-ups, or lifting a gallon of milk repeatedly can increase muscle strength by 25% in seniors within 6 months. For those with mobility issues, seated leg lifts or resistance bands, available for under $10 at most stores, work wonders. I've seen this with Clara, 87, who started using a light band while watching her evening shows. I thought exercise was for the young. She chuckled. Now I can walk to the park without my cane some days. The mind-muscle connection. Here's where my psychology expertise comes in. Building muscle isn't just physical, it's mental. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset teaches us that believing you can improve is half the battle. Many seniors I meet, like Patricia, start with a fixed mindset. This is just how it is now. But when I showed Patricia pictures of 90-year-olds lifting weights in studies from the University of Sydney, her eyes lit up. If they can do it, maybe I can too, she said. That shift in belief propelled her to try. Today, she does chair squats while chatting with her daughter on the phone, 10 reps. 3 times a day. It's not the Olympics, she laughs, but I'm back in control. Practical steps to start today. So, how do you fight sarcopenia? Here's a roadmap. Protein power. Aim for 25 to 30 grams per meal. Think eggs at breakfast, tuna at lunch, beans at dinner. Snacks like nuts or cottage cheese bridge the gaps. Move with purpose. Try 10 sit to stands twice daily, or wall push-ups while waiting for the kettle. Gardening or carrying laundry counts too. Do it mindfully. Track progress. Notice how many grocery bags you can carry or how easily you stand up. Small wins build momentum. Mindset shift. Tell yourself, I'm not too old to get stronger. Repeat it. Belief fuels action. Have you noticed your strength slipping? What's one step you could take today? Share your thoughts. I'd love to cheer you on. Patricia's rocking chair is no longer a trap, it's a launchpad. Yours can be too. Nourishing body and soul. The link between nutrition, loneliness, and longevity. Elizabeth, 75, sat in my office 2 years ago, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. After my husband passed, food didn't taste right anymore. She whispered, I'd sit at the table alone, and it was just toast and coffee. Day after day, her story echoes across the countless seniors I've counseled. Loneliness doesn't just break your heart, it can break your health. The Mayo Clinic found that seniors who eat alone consume 157 fewer calories per meal, often missing critical nutrients like protein, vitamins, and healthy fats. The American Journal of Aging adds a startling layer. Up to 60% of adults over 80 suffer from hidden hunger, a form of malnutrition that hides behind normal body weight but weakens immunity, slows healing, and increases fall risk. The loneliness nutrition spiral. Why does this happen? It's a tangled web of biology and psychology. When Elizabeth lost her husband of 50 years, her appetite vanished, not because she didn't have food, but because eating alone felt pointless. This is more common than you'd think. A 2022 study from the Journal of Gerontology found that 43% of seniors living alone are at risk of malnutrition. Not from poverty, but from isolation. Loneliness triggers a stress response, cortisol spikes, digestion slows, and the joy of eating fades. Psychologically, meals lose their meaning when they're not shared. It's not just hunger, Elizabeth said, it's the silence. Malnutrition in seniors isn't always obvious. You don't need to be gaunt to be deficient. A 2021 report from the World Health Organization notes that older adults often lack vitamin D, B12, and magnesium, nutrients vital for energy, bone health, and brain function, even if their weight seems fine. This, hidden hunger, can mimic fatigue or depression, conditions I frequently untangle in my practice. For Elizabeth, her toast and coffee diet left her lethargic, her memory foggy. I thought it was just grief. She said, it was, but it was also her body crying for nourishment. Turning the tide with connection. Here's the hope. Nutrition and social bonds are a two-way street. And small changes can heal both. John, 82, found this out when he joined a senior center lunch program in his town. I went for the food at first, he told me, but I stayed for the people. Now I look forward to lunch, it's the highlight of my day. These programs, offered through area agencies on aging in most U.S. cities, serve balanced meals, think roasted chicken, steamed veggies, and fruit, alongside conversation. A 2020 study in public health nutrition found that seniors in such programs have a 30% lower risk of malnutrition and report higher life satisfaction. For those who prefer home, technology bridges the gap. Carol, 78, started virtual dinner dates with her sister. We pick a recipe, say, spaghetti with marinara, and cook it together over Zoom. She says, we laugh, we talk, and the food tastes better, even through a screen. Research from the University of California, San Francisco, backs this up. Virtual social meals boost nutrient intake by 20% and cut depression symptoms in half among isolated seniors. It's not just about the calories, it's about rekindling purpose. Simple fixes for solo dining. What if you're eating alone? You can still make it nourishing, body and soul. Elizabeth started small after our sessions. I set the table with a nice plate and napkin. She said, it felt silly at first, but it made me care again. I've seen this work wonders. Playing soft music or an audiobook during meals shifts the mood. Studies from the University of Oxford show ambient sound reduces loneliness by 15%. Others, like David, 80, started a neighborhood soup swap. We take turns making a pot and sharing bowls. He says, it's low effort, high reward. Nutritionally, variety is key. The Mediterranean diet, rich in fish, nuts, olive oil, and colorful veggies, is a gold standard. A 2023 study in the Lancet Healthy Longevity found it cuts frailty risk by 40% in seniors. Pair it with protein, 25 to 30 grams per meal, and you're fortifying your body against sarcopenia and fatigue. Elizabeth now keeps canned salmon and almonds handy. It's easy, and I feel stronger, she says. The psychology of shared meals. From a psychological lens, eating together taps into our primal need for connection. Think Maslow's hierarchy, where belonging sits just above survival. A 2019 study from the University of Chicago found that seniors who share meals weekly live 4.2 years longer on average than those who don't. Why? Social bonds lower stress hormones, boost oxytocin, the feel-good chemical, and reinforce self-worth. When I eat with someone, I feel seen. John told me, that visibility is a lifeline. How do you make meals joyful? Have you found ways to connect over food? Share your ideas. I'd love to hear them. If you know someone eating alone, reach out. A simple invite could change their day or their life. Walking meditation, a path to peace, strength, and mental clarity. Grace, 88, came to me last year with a problem I hear often. Anxiety that wouldn't let her sleep. My mind races at night, she said, her hands fidgeting. I tried everything, pills, tea, counting sheep. Then I introduced her to walking meditation. I thought meditation was sitting cross-legged with my eyes closed. She laughed later. This was different, gentle, doable, and it changed everything. Grace's story is a testament to a practice that blends movement and mindfulness, offering seniors a powerful tool for longevity and peace. The science behind the steps. Walking meditation isn't new, it's rooted in Buddhist traditions, but science is catching up. The National Institute on Aging found that combining gentle walking with mindfulness reduces stress hormones like cortisol by 23% and improves memory by 15% in adults over 75. A 2022 study in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews adds that it enhances neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, countering age-related decline. Why is it so effective? Movement oxygenates the body while mindfulness calms the mind, creating a synergy that's greater than either alone. For seniors, this is gold. Falls are a top fear, understandably, since they're the leading cause of injury over 65. Per the CDC, walking meditation improves balance by training proprioception, your sense of where your body is in space, and focus. Meanwhile, it tackles anxiety, a silent epidemic. A 2021 Journal of Affective Disorders study found that 30% of seniors experience chronic worry, often about health or loss. Grace's racing thoughts? They slowed to a manageable hum after a week of practice. How to do it? It's simpler than you think. Find a quiet, safe spot, your backyard, a hallway, even your living room. Take slow, deliberate steps, feeling each foot touch the ground. Sync your breath. Inhale for 2 steps. Exhale for 3. Tom, 82, does this in his garden at dawn. I listen to the birds. Feel the air. Breathe with my steps, he says. It's like a reset button. The rhythm calms your nervous system. Research from the University of Wisconsin shows it lowers blood pressure by 10 points in seniors. No garden? No problem. Ruth, 91, practices seated in her armchair, mindfully lifting and placing her feet. I imagine I'm walking a path, she says. It still quiets my mind. A 2020 study in mindfulness found seated adaptations yield similar stress reduction, proof it's the intention, not the distance, that counts. For those with canes or walkers, use them. The goal is attention, not speed. Adding layers of meaning. Grace took it further with gratitude, a twist I often suggest. With each step, I think of something I'm thankful for. She says, my kids, the sunrise, even just being here. Positive psychology research from Martin Seligman shows gratitude boosts serotonin, enhancing mood and resilience. Margaret, 79, agrees. Some days it's small, I can still walk, other days it's big. Like family, this layering turns a physical act into a mental sanctuary. Worried you're doing it wrong? Don't be. There's no perfect way. Start with 5 minutes, morning or evening. Whenever you're freshest. If your mind wanders, it will. Gently bring it back to your breath or feet. John Kabat-Zinn, a mindfulness pioneer, calls this falling awake, a skill that grows with practice. Grace stumbled at first. I'd think about dinner or bills, she said, but I kept going, and now it's second nature. The ripple effect. The benefits spill over. Grace sleeps better. Her anxiety dropped 40%. She estimates. Tom's balance improved. He hasn't tripped in months. A 2023 Journal of Aging and Physical Activity study found walking meditation cuts fall risk by 20% in seniors, rivaling Tai Chi. Mentally, it's a lifeline. Ruth, housebound after surgery, says, it's my escape without leaving my chair. I've seen it ease depression, sharpen focus, and restore hope. Outcomes echoed in global research from Japan to Sweden. Try it. 5 minutes. Notice how you feel. Have you done walking meditation? What's stopping you? Or what questions do you have? Share below. Your experience could inspire someone else. Grace calls it a gift I didn't know I needed. Maybe it's yours too. The power of proactive habits. Why small choices matter more than you think. Let's begin with a story that's close to my heart. Margaret, an 85-year-old retired teacher from Boston, walked into my office 5 years ago feeling defeated. I thought being tired and weak was just what happens when you get older. She told me, her voice tinged with resignation. Like so many seniors, she'd accepted declining health as an inevitable part of aging. But today, Margaret is a different woman, more energetic and independent than she was at 80. What changed? She discovered the power of simple daily habits. The National Institute on Aging reports a sobering statistic: 70% of adults over 80 believe they're too old to improve their health. This mindset is a silent thief, robbing seniors of vitality before they even try. Yet, the truth is, it's never too late to make a difference. Decades of psychological research, including studies on self-efficacy by Albert Bandura, show that believing in your ability to change is the first step to success. Margaret's transformation didn't come from a miracle pill, it came from small, intentional shifts in her routine. Start with your mornings. Instead of leaping out of bed, or dragging yourself out, as the case may be, take 5 minutes to stretch gently while still under the covers. Sarah, an 88-year-old patient of mine, swears by this ritual. It's like telling my body we're going to have a good day. She says with a smile, this isn't just feel-good advice. Stretching increases blood flow, reduces stiffness, and primes your nervous system for the day ahead. A 2019 study from the American College of Sports Medicine confirms that even light morning movement can improve mobility and mood in older adults. Next, let's talk about protein, a cornerstone of vitality that's often misunderstood. Many seniors load up on protein at dinner, but research from the Mayo Clinic shows that spreading it evenly across meals, 25 to 30 grams per sitting, helps maintain muscle mass more effectively. That's roughly a deck of cards-sized portion of chicken, fish, or legumes. Barbara, 82, keeps it simple with hard-boiled eggs and Greek yogurt for snacks. I used to think protein was just for bodybuilders. She laughs, but now I feel stronger all day. Hydration is another unsung hero. After 70, your body's thirst signals weaken, so waiting to feel thirsty isn't enough. Dehydration can sap energy, cloud thinking, and even mimic dementia-like symptoms, a phenomenon called reversible cognitive decline in geriatric medicine. Richard, 90, uses a water bottle with time markers and flavors it with lemon or cucumber. It's like a little treat, he says. Studies from the Journal of Gerontology back this up. Proper hydration boosts cognitive function and reduces fatigue in seniors. Finally, don't underestimate mental engagement and social connection. The brain thrives on challenge and companionship. Helen, 87, started learning Spanish with free library resources and says it's sharper than ever. Meanwhile, studies from the University of Michigan show that regular social interaction, even a 10-minute chat with a neighbor, can extend life expectancy by over 5 years. These habits aren't flashy, but they're powerful. Which one resonates with you? Are you already doing any of these? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your story. Breaking the cycle of inactivity. The hidden risks and simple fixes. Now, let's tackle a danger that creeps up on too many seniors: inactivity. Robert, 78, came to me after a minor fall left him shaken. I thought staying in my armchair was safer, he admitted, but within months, he noticed his strength fading. Fear of falling had trapped him in a vicious cycle, one that's all too common. The National Institute on Aging delivers a startling wake-up call. Prolonged inactivity in seniors over 70 can be as damaging as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Seniors who sit for over 8 hours daily face a 40% higher risk of early mortality compared to their active peers. This isn't just about physical health, it's about independence and quality of life. Inactivity accelerates muscle loss, weakens bones, and clouds the mind. A 2021 study in The Lancet found that sedentary behavior increases depression risk by 25% in older adults, feeding into a psychological spiral of isolation and despair. But here's the good news. You don't need to run marathons to turn this around. Small, safe movements can work wonders. Take Alice, 85, who redefined activity on her terms. During TV commercials, she stands and walks in place. While chatting with her grandkids on the phone, she paces her living room. These micro-movements add up. Research from the American Heart Association shows they improve circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. For those worried about balance, chair exercises are a game changer. Try leg lifts while watching the news or arm circles while reading. Even ankle rotations boost circulation without strain. James, 82, swears by the 2-minute rule. Every hour, his phone chimes, and he moves for just 2 minutes, stretching, walking to the kitchen, anything. It used to annoy me, He confesses. But now it's my favorite part of the day. My joints don't lock up anymore. Science backs him up. A 2020 study from Geriatrics and Gerontology International found that these brief bursts improve cognitive function and slash fall risk by 15%. What's your biggest barrier to staying active? Have you found clever ways to move more? Let's inspire each other in the comments. Your journey starts now. Pick one change today. Protein at breakfast. A short walk. A call to a friend. These steps build a brighter future. If this resonated, like and subscribe for more. Share this with someone you love. Together, we can help seniors thrive. Where are you starting? Tell me below. I'm cheering you on.